Sarah stared at the empty chair across the dinner table, her chest tight with grief. The house felt too quiet without him. Just 3 months after losing her husband in that sudden accident, the weight of it all pressed down hard. Bills sat unopened on the counter. Her little boy, Jake, kept asking when Dad was coming home, and Sarah's waitressing job barely stretched far enough for food and rent. "I don't know how to do this alone," she whispered, tears slipping down her cheeks. Everything in her life felt frayed, like threads pulled loose, with no way to hold together. One gray afternoon, while walking home through the old neighborhood, Sarah noticed an elderly man carefully hanging colorful yarns outside his modest workshop. He moved slowly, his hand steady despite his age. She paused, then offered, "Can I give you a hand with that?" The man looked up with warm, knowing eyes. His name was Thomas, known quietly around town as the Master Weaver. "Thank you, dear," he said gently. "If you have a little time, I could teach you something that might help more than you think." Thomas offered her a few hours each week, sorting yarns and sweeping the shop, in exchange for lessons on the old wooden loom. Sarah almost said no. Weaving seemed like a silly distraction when real problems loomed so large. But the extra bit of money sounded useful, so she agreed. Each dawn, before her shift at the diner, Thomas sat with her at the loom. "Don't rush the big picture," he'd say softly. "A beautiful life is built the same way, one small, steady thread at a time." One simple habit repeated. He started her with tiny practice pieces, just a few rows of basic weave every morning. Nothing fancy. Sarah nodded, but inside she worried. The rent notice came. Jake needed new school clothes. Some evenings, exhaustion made her want to skip the loom entirely. What difference could a few rows possibly make? The struggle deepened one stormy week. Her hours at the diner got cut, and an unexpected repair bill hit hard. Desperate, Sarah stayed up late one night, trying to finish a large scarf in one frantic push. Something she could sell quickly at the local flea market. Her hands moved fast, but the tension went wrong. Threads snapped. The pattern twisted into a mess. She stared at the ruined piece, shoulders shaking. "I'm letting Jake down," she thought. "Just like I feel I'm failing at everything." The next morning, Thomas found her quietly folding the spoiled work. He shared a little of his own past, how he once lost nearly everything after his wife passed, and almost walked away from his craft. "The brave move isn't forcing a grand fix overnight," he told her calmly. "It's choosing to return to the small things, even when your heart feels broken." Sarah sat still for a long moment, letting his words settle. Then she made her choice. No more chasing quick answers. She would wake up 20 minutes earlier every single day to weave those few careful rows, no excuses. She would spend 10 quiet minutes each evening reading with Jake, really present with him. And she would save whatever small amount she could each week, even if it was just coins dropped into a jar. It was far from easy. Mornings when sleep tugged at her, she almost gave in. Weeks when money stayed tight, and loneliness whispered doubts. Yet she held to those tiny commitments, thread after thread, day after day. Slowly the pieces grew. Those small squares became simple scarves, then warm shawls, then larger wall pieces with soft, flowing designs. Word traveled at the market. Customers loved the honest, comforting feel of her work. Orders trickled in, then grew steadier. She covered the rent without panic. She bought Jake the clothes he needed, plus a new backpack he proudly showed off. One peaceful evening, Sarah completed her first big project, a cozy throw blanket in gentle greens and soft yellows, like quiet hope after hard rain. She gave it to Thomas. He ran his fingers across it and nodded with deep satisfaction. "You see now," he said. "Small habits, repeated faithfully, weave a life stronger and more beautiful than you ever planned." That night, Sarah tucked Jake into bed, pulling the new blanket around them both. For the first time in months, peace settled in her heart. The pattern wasn't flawless, but it held. It had color, and it was becoming theirs. Here's the simple truth Sarah discovered along the way. Small habits might feel tiny and unimportant when life feels heavy, but they quietly connect over time. They build strength. They create a grand pattern you couldn't force in a single big moment. So choose one small thing today that matters. Show up for it again tomorrow. Watch how your life slowly, surely begins to take beautiful shape.